the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour, the biggest and richest bass tournament in the state. Event number 1 is about to get underway here in Walker, Minnesota on beautiful Leech Lake. Join your host, Chip Lear, as he takes you fishing with Minnesota's best bass anglers as they compete for $10,000. The anticipation is out of control, and the expectations are high. So stick with us. You're in for quite a ride on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour.
Leech Lake is it's a very large lake. It's one of the largest in the state. It's pretty much a shallow water bite. You're fishing 6 to 8 feet or less in the whole lake. It's a lot of rice fish, a lot of slop fishing.
There's so much cover up shallow with between the rice and the weeds and all the reed beds and things like that. It's just so many places the fish could be that finding them that's really the challenge.
You may have found them in one area free fishing, but so did a bunch of other guys. And they either move deeper or really into the thick stuff.
It's probably got the biggest fish in the state here, so I mean it's fun to come here because on any cast you could have a 6, 7, maybe even an 8-pound fish.
There's always a chance you're going to catch a real big up here. My biggest fish personally is off of this lake, so I love coming up here trying to get another one.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour has 5 qualifying events throughout the year where anglers are gaining points trying to make it to the Tournament of Champions. Along the way, they're racing for that coveted Angler of the Year, the most consistent angler on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. And that Frankie's Marine Angler of the Year for 2003 is going to drive home a new Ford truck. So let's get in the boat with last year's Angler of the Year, Brad Leiferman.
Look at all these great anglers and to think that you came out on top, you know, it's just unbelievable. It's like a dream, you know, for somebody like me, because this is my passion, just like it is most of these guys.
I'm pretty excited today. This is my 3rd year as an AM on the Pro-Am Tour, and I've learned stuff from everybody, and I've already picked up a few tips from Brad this morning already, so I'm excited about today.
And you almost feel giddy because this circuit has gotten so big and so advanced. I mean, $10,000 for first place, and that's what it is now, $10,000. Beautiful. Go! Yeah, baby! About 25 minutes wide open, averaging about 65.
We're on the board for 2003.
What we're fishing today is actually wild rice. So what we're trying to do is stay out on the outside edge of it. What we're trying to cast is into some of the thicker stuff. The story is, I don't know if I believe it or not, is that the muskies keep the bass in the weeds. And this is the thickest stuff on the lake, and there certainly are fish in here. So I guess I tend to believe that theory. A good one? Oh, nice fish. Yes, nice fish, Chuck. This is the kind of fish we're catching. It's a little bit smaller, but you can see how thick they are. That's what's so nice about this format. Doesn't matter which guy catches them, 'cause they all weigh the same.
Caught that one on a jawbreaker spoon, cast it out, and reel it in across the top of the rice.
That's been the hot bait this morning.
Behind us right now is our Tournament of Champions champion, Jim Severson. Out here on Leech Lake, you're going to see a couple of different techniques that are going to be real prominent in producing these largemouth bass today. Jim is doing one of them by flipping shorelines. There's heavy vegetation right on the shore. Those fish are scooted up in there, and the anglers are going to be sticking them out of there.
He'll come back. I'm a topwater guy, so if we can get the rat bite to go, you know, that's a good locator. Oh, Rocky. Wrong species. I'm actually fishing on the north shore of Boy Bay. The morning hasn't gone real well, not to what I was hoping it was going to do. This is the first fish we've caught all day. Everybody talks about how hard it is to hook these fish, and I very, very rarely miss a fish on a frog.
Thanks, Jeremy.
No problem, buddy.
It's your pattern.
What I did is took a Northland leg rattle, and I put them leg rattles right on top of that frog. And what it does is it doesn't inhibit your hook sets, so when they do bite down, they have enough room where they can get their mouth on it, and you hardly ever miss a fish. I got my best spot yet to come, so we're going to go sit on that one the rest of the day. We're going to head over there right now and give it a whirl.
We're working as a team here. Occasionally, one of us will get a fish to blow up on a topwater. We'll mark the spot, and then the other guy will throw back in there with a slip sinker rig. The fish are going to go a little bit more, I think, as the day progresses here, at least with the pattern that we're fishing.
I just saw one move.
That's the type of bite you work for an hour and a half to get, and if you're lucky enough to get it, you got to execute and put the fish in live well.
Largemouth bass on Leech Lake love shallow water vegetation. In fact, one of their favorite homes is famous Leech Lake wild rice. Well, right now we're in the middle of one of the largest ones on the lake, and two pro anglers have decided to call it home today. Pro angler Chad Johnson and pro angler Travis Peterson are dissecting this massive wild rice bed.
The slop is so vast that you really have to almost cover a lot of water and hope you run across a couple active ones versus slowing down and dropping in worms and jigs. We've got three bass so far. It's about 9:15. We'll get our fifth, but they're not coming as easy as we were hoping. Trying to get him. Right here. 2-pounder maybe. Slide right in there. All right. Good job. Using a jawbreaker spoon today, Northland jawbreaker. It's my favorite bait in the slop, and I've got a little weighted trailer hook on here. Gold shiner pattern. When we get bites, they come on it pretty hard.
Welcome back to the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. We're past the halfway point of the tournament, and things are really starting to heat up. It's going to be a race against the clock to find out who's going to bring in the biggest bag of bass and take home the $10,000 first place prize. But before we do, stick with us as we check out Northland Ford's Angler's Profile.
Kian, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught? It was giant?
Nobody likes a good fish story more than this kindergarten teacher.
B. B is for black molly.
B is also for bass. In fact, there's a live one in this school. This is Nevis Public School in Nevis, Minnesota, home to the world's largest tiger muskie and rookie Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour pro angler, Jason Durham.
I have two passions in life. One is teaching, one is fishing. And the two are interchangeable, as you can see. I love spending time in the classroom, and I bring part of my passion for fishing into the classroom.
Which happens to be a great way to get kids hooked on learning.
So what they do is they actually catch a fish, and they look at the number, word, or letter on the back. And if they can identify it, they get to throw it into the bucket to keep. If they don't know it, I help them with it, or the person volunteering helps them with it, and they throw it back into the lake. So then the next time that they catch it, they might know that number, letter, or word. Hey, what's this one? 6 on the back of a crappie.
There's also an emphasis on fine art.
I have green right here. Who wants light green? Here.
The only thing we don't do is actually catch fish. So in the summer, we offer a program through our community education in the school, and all of the kids, K through 6, are invited to participate free of charge.
Who knows? Jason might just be grooming the competition. But even if they don't take angling to the level he has, he hopes that the passion he brings off the water and into the classroom will give these youngsters a good attitude when it comes to learning.
It should be enjoyable, and that's what we're trying to do today. We're taking learning and we're using it in a different way so that it's enjoyable to the kids. It doesn't necessarily have to be done with pencil and paper. Angling should be fun too. Even if you're not catching fish, even just being out on the water with somebody that you enjoy being with is important.
But it's slow. The bites are far and few in between. Hopefully now that the sun's come back out, maybe the fish will start biting. It seems to go in spurts. We had a spurt where we caught 3 fish within 20 minutes, and it cooled down. And we're hoping maybe the sun coming back out, we'll turn them back on. Your fish, partner.
This time of year, we're looking at post-spawn fish. The guys just got to go slow, take your time. A lot of the fish get pretty tight-lipped after spawn. We started on this point this morning. There were 3 other boats that come in, and one guy came through and was just rifling casts. And that wasn't going to cut it this morning. I mean, I could tell right off the bat. Troy had one that just was kind of a roll on it. It wasn't really an aggressive strike. The fish didn't have the bait, and then you just kind of let them kind of dictate the tempo. Oh, get the net, get the net. There comes out. That's a nice one. I'll take a few of them anytime.
Even though Leech Lake is one of the largest lakes in the state of Minnesota, today she's not fishing like a real big lake. Here we are in a narrow little channel on the northeast side of the lake, finding a huge concentration of anglers. Here we are, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boats in this tiny little area, all searching for the biggest bag of bass. So stick with us, it's going to be a tight race in this tight group.
You ready? You rolling?
I am rolling.
Get the net.
All right, you guys can ride on the rest of the day if you'd like.
Well, it isn't as big as we like it here in Boyd Bay, but, you know, it was exciting.
It's a 7.5-foot rod, big, thick, heavy rod. Pull them out of here. 50-pound Power Pro line. Braid line, gotta have braid lines for this. And I just work the frog back real slow, twitch it a couple times. And man, when they get it, they get it.
It's noon right now. We got another couple hours to fish, 2.5 hours or so. We moved into this rice once the sun got a little bit higher, and we've been throwing rats and scum frogs. And we've got the rest of our fish doing this. I gotta get them out of here. Ugh. Still got them along. I think I got more weeds than fish, but let's see what we got in there. Oh, a good one. That's a decent bass. It's the one we've been waiting for. It's the biggest one we got so far, I think. Whew. Those oxygenators. Keep them lively. All right, that's 8.
Taking care of our lakes and fish is a big reason why the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is such a success. Our commitment is evident, and we want you to be a part of it. So check out this week's environmental experience brought to you by the Minnesota State Lottery.
Well, the reason that we care about keeping our fishery one of the best in the country is because there are others that want to go out and catch these fish. The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour uses one of the most innovative live release systems in the country. We use a system designed by Aqua Innovations which adds and regulates the proper amount of oxygen from the time the fish are brought in to the time they're released. It's really important to get fish back in the same locations and back in the environment that they were before, so we really don't upset the balance of nature.
Right now we're trying to fish some rice with some top water. Looking for a few big fish. Oh, here comes one. Come on now. We're looking for there's some big fish in the rice, and we've had a few blow-ups, but they've come up short, so we just stuck with it, and we're gonna try to see if we can't get a couple good ones to bite here yet before we're done. Stay on there. Oh, and look at the little guy. Oh, it's just a wee little guy. I think the bait's bigger than the fish. I'm fishing for largemouth with the bait half the size of the fish. If that fish there would have definitely won the smallest fish award for today. But they won't let me bring those in, they're too small.
Welcome to Walker, Minnesota's fishing capital and home to the Fishing Hall of Fame. This is the place where legends live on and the fish stories never end. Make your own history by experiencing Leech Lake, 113,000 acres of scenic lake beauty and fishing fun all year round. Off the water, Walker offers great shopping, dining, and some top-notch casino action. It's no gamble when we say a trip to Walker is a sure bet.
We're into the last hour of fishing on this first event of the year on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. And as we saw on the water this morning, things were a little bit challenging for the anglers. They're scrambling, only moments are left. Let's see what they're doing to get their 8-fish limit.
Missed 3 off the bat, and then came back and picked up 2. And been trying to hit the same type of structure. It's been tough to put together a pattern. Now we're just trying all slop and just trying to catch anything that goes my way. Got him? Good job. All right. Leech Lake bass. Good job, Jim.
Well, we got about 10 minutes left of the day. We're looking for one more big fish. We got a pretty decent bag today. Most of the fish today we caught were fishing in the rice, scum frogs, flipping sinkos, jigs. We're doing all right, I guess. I don't think we got enough to win it, but somebody always comes up with a bigger bag. But we're going to give it a couple more casts here and head on in.
My strategy for 5 minutes left is just doing the same thing, just throwing to the little pockets, let it lay there, and they'll come out from underneath the bog and nail it. We've got a limit. I think we're in pretty good shape, but this is a really good fishery and there's some good hooks out there. All right, we better rock and roll. We don't want to be late.
Stay tuned. Up next, Leech Lake's champ and $10,000 winner.
Walker, Minnesota's Leech Lake showed why this is Minnesota's fishing capital. The fish just kept getting bigger all afternoon long coming across the stage. The bags were larger and larger. all in anticipation of that first place prize. On top was Matt Ryan and Chuck Scott with 24.95 pounds, only to be slightly edged out by veteran pro Dean Capra and Lauren Berg, 25.39 pounds. But local pro John Crane and Erik Hildebrand smashed the competition with 29.02 pounds to take home the $10,000 first place Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour cash. We're here with Leech Lake champions John Crane and Erik Hildebrand. Guys, great day.
Awesome. Loved it.
A lot of fun.
You talked about a lot of techniques that were helping you put fish in the boat. What was the winning presentation?
Northland Jungle Jig, right here, baby. This 3/8 ounce black and blue was the ticket. Throw it right into those cut banks, into the reeds. Those big bass just swallow it up.
And Erik Hildebrand, what do winning largemouth bass look like?
Just like these.
Oh, yeah.
It's big bass and big bucks on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour, and this is just the first stop of the year. We're going to award over $250,000. You're going to want to be with us at the next stop, Lake Vermilion. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you bass fishing in Minnesota.
Camera boats provided by Crystal Piers Marine. Lodging and banquet facilities provided by Northern Lights Casino. Chipler's Wardrobe provided by Carhartt and Irish Setter.